welcome. Sal Subnis here with SS Multimedia. Today, we're going to be talking about dividing a decimal by a decimal.
Now let's go over our objective. Okay? So our objective is understanding how to divide a decimal by a decimal. Okay? So of course we know what understanding is. We've seen that word enough in our objectives. And second is divide. Right? And you should know, right? You should know what dividing is. And then a decimal by a decimal. So, you know what decimals are. But what this means is that we're going to be doing problems like 0.06 divided by 0.02. Okay, decimal by a decimal. Okay? So, we're going to go ahead and get started now. Okay, so we're going to start off with an example. Okay? And I clicked on the wrong example. There you go. This one is the one we're going to start off with. Okay, and as you can see, it's kind of easy, kind of simple, right? So, we're going to go ahead and do this, right? So, step one, let's write this down, right? In a way that we can actually divide. So, you have 0.9, right? Or 0.9 tenths, okay? Divided by 0 and 1/10, or 0.1, okay? So, step number one, okay? Of course, if you just do it like this, then there's no point in this lesson. We're trying to teach you a specific way to divide decimals. So, you're going to move this decimal. So, I'm going to write 0.1, pretty big. The step here, I'm going to move this decimal 1 to the right. Okay, so now that number transforms from 0.1 to 1.0. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with 0.9. Okay, we have 0.9. Okay, we're going to take that decimal, move it 1 to the right. So now that number went from 0.9 to 9.0. So now what we're doing, well, think about it. We're doing whole numbers now, right? 1.0 equals 1 and 9 equals 9, right? And now this could be pretty easy mental math, right? 9 divided by 1, right? But we're just going to write that down here. Okay, 9 divided by 1. Okay, I'm going to go back to red here, right? And 1 goes into 9 times, right? That should be pretty easy. Minus 9 is 0, so we have a remainder of 0, right? So that's pretty simple, right? So now we're going to be talking about the next one. Okay, now our next example is 0.5 divided by 0.2. Okay, so I'm going to use blue. Okay, now we're going to do this, right? So of course our first step, as you might remember, draw this nice and big, 0.5, 0.2. Okay, green. Okay, draw that point there. Okay, and we're going to move that there. Now, this number is converted to 2.0 or 2. Now we're going to take 0.5. I'm going to move that decimal point 1. Okay, now that number is now 5.0 or 5. Okay, so now let's actually do the problem. Okay, so I'm going to take bright blue again. Okay, now let's write the problem in green. So we have 5 divided by 2. Okay, so 2 can go into 5 2 times, right? 2 times 2 is 4. 5 minus 4, okay. Now we got 1. Right, let's get down here so we have more room. I thought I was running out of room there. Okay, and let's elongate this a little. Okay, now here's what we can do. Okay, we could call it 2 remainder 1 and call it a day. Right? But That's not an exact answer. We want an exact answer. But how are we going to get an exact answer? There's a remainder. Annex zeros. Okay. Annex zeros. Okay? So what we're going to do, since this number 5 is, okay, so one question you need to ask yourself when doing annex zeros, is 5 equal to 5.0? Yes, it is. So if we convert this number to 5.0, now there's a number to carry down. So you carry that number down, right? Now that number becomes 10. 10 divided by 2. Okay, and remember, there's a decimal here, so that decimal gets carried up. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. Okay? And 2 times 5 is 10. 10 minus 10 is 0. So now we have remainder as 0. So we no longer have a remainder. So our answer is 2.5. So that 0 we added there, that's called an annex 0. Okay, we can add those as many times as we want. Okay? Now as you can see here, there's no remainder, right? But let's say this remainder was 2. We could add another annex 0 because 5 is still equal to 5.00. So you could add another annex 0 and do the process all over again. Okay? But 2.5 is our answer. Okay? So, let's get green. Let's use green. Yeah, blue. Change my mind. 0.5. Nice and big there. 0.5 divided by 0.2 equals, what does it equal? 2.5. Okay? Now today there will be no problem time, okay, for reasons. So I'm just going to go ahead and say thank you very much for watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. And when you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can keep up to date with everything that we're doing. Speaking of that, catch you on the next one.